Welcome to the sustainability series, where men didn't just get back in charge, they stayed in charge. Now, for most health transformations, they don't last. Between 80 and 95% of people regain their weight within 2 years. But the men that you're going to meet here have beaten those odds. Not in the perfect environment, but in the real world, whilst working, traveling, raising families, and carrying on all the pressures that comes with being responsible for so much. Today, I am joined by Peter Venn, who completed the Back in Charge 9 months ago. But even though he's only 9 months in, he is still on track to reach that 2-year point where many people do not. And also, we're going to be talking about how he's kept his results, his routines, and his identity shift since. Now, this conversation isn't about what happened during the program. It's about what's happened after. How he's been able to handle the stress, handle the setbacks, travel, work demands, family, and still stayed in charge of his health, his energy, and his life. So let's get into it. Peter, thank you for taking the time out today and joining us. And before we get into it, Peter, if you could just introduce yourself, who you are and where you're from and what you do.
Yeah, I'm Peter Venn. I'm 66 years old. I bought a business a year ago in Shropshire, but I still live just outside Andover. So I commute up here every week, stay during the week, go back home weekends. It's working away from home, which I did for 20 years probably, and then didn't for a little while. So I'm running a busy plant hire business in Shropshire now.
Nice. I totally forgot. Yeah, you are. You're commuting to and from, aren't you?
So I do 300 odd miles a week with the commute, plus all the other traveling. So 500 miles a week.
Nice. So Peter, I want you to just cast your mind back for a second. Okay, so it was around about this time last year that we initially spoke, wasn't it?
It was indeed.
Yeah. So I want you to just think back a year. Now, what was happening in your life when you realized that your health was slipping out of your hands and that you had to do something about it?
2 or 3 things combined. One was I just bought the business, taken on a lot of debt in order to buy it. So that was all quite stressful. Business performance in the first couple of months wasn't that fantastic. So again, a little bit stressful. I'm one of those people, I don't drink, but in stress, I would tend to turn to eating too much crap stuff, too much sweet stuff, put on a few extra kilos over Christmas. Like everybody with the new year, you think I've got to do something about this. But I didn't want to be part of a yo-yo diet or something. So I saw your stuff on LinkedIn and saw the logic, and it was about trying to find something to get out of a spiral, to change bad habits. So got on the program with you, and it worked for me, and it's still working for me.
Yeah, nice. So you said about getting out of a spiral.
Yeah.
Now what spiral was happening for you?
I was getting stressed with work. I was doing longer hours. I wasn't exercising enough. Also with working away from home, I was eating too many ready meals and so on. So I was letting the diet slip. I was lacking energy and lacking motivation, really. Nice. And I needed to break out of that.
And just with all of that going on, what impact was that? What impact was that having on your day to day? Would you say?
More the lack of energy and lack of motivation, probably, than anything else. Not horrendous, it wasn't in a desperate mode, but equally it was something where I realized I needed to do something to make a change.
Yeah, because we were just saying just about a few minutes ago, it's you were overweight, but you weren't overweight, were you? You didn't have a great deal to lose.
Chronically obese or anything. I was probably okay compared to 20 years ago. I was probably 15 kilos up on where I was. 20 years ago, I was probably 75 kilos. At the worst, I got up to 90.
But it was but like we were saying, it's not, for you, it wasn't really about the weight. It was about everything else. It was the energy. It was the motivation and all of that. And that was starting to show.
Correct.
Nice. So tell me, like, had you tried to address it previously in the past, or was this like the first time for you?
Yeah. I mean, I started, I've got two daughters in their 30s. I started running again with them, park run and the like. And that was literally a year before, January 24. And it gave me a nasty shock because I was 10 minutes slower around park run than my young daughter. And I'd always been quicker than her when we went running. So it gave me a bit of a kick in itself. So I'd started to exercise, really done anything about diet or the rest of the program. So
nice.
Yeah, I'd had some benefit, but not as much as I could have.
Yeah, so you tried previously you'd only just tried the exercise part of it, and not really tried like you said, the nutrition or working on the behaviors and the habits. Okay, so you came into Back in Charge Blueprint, and as you know, we work on all of those three things, don't we? We work on the nutrition, the diet side. We touch on the exercise part, and also we work on the mindset and also the behavioral side. So for you, like, what was your experience like of the blueprint?
And what
were you surprised about?
I hadn't done any sort of calorie count. Hang on a second, sorry. I hadn't done any calorie counting type diet for many years. So I got into the calorie counting, and that was quite useful to realize that, I don't know, having a snack bar suddenly adds 300 calories or something. It's more than you realize. I've always been bad for going for biscuits and so on. But the biggest two items, to be honest, which aren't always the biggest focus on your thing, were making sure that I drink more water and getting more sleep. And they've been the two things that have made the biggest difference, I think, for me. The things going forward in terms of, maintaining it have been making sure that I drink enough water and that I get enough sleep. Diet-wise, I've still had a habit of having too many ready meals. I've been improving that more recently, and making sure that I'm cooking properly rather than buying ready meals. And that's where the biggest difference has come.
Nice. So look at that, right? So your main focus on seeing the improvements have been for you to make sure that you're drinking enough water, and also getting that sleep. Okay.
Correct.
Now,
they've made a big difference, both of those things.
Yeah. Well, of course, like for you, like how has, like, for you, how has drinking more water and improving your sleep, like, how does that improve you on a daily basis?
On a daily basis, it means I've got more energy. I feel more motivated. There's never a day where I'm thinking I really don't want to get up and go to work today. I'm up there and at it, and it's a lot better than it was.
Nice. And also, I just want to touch on the point is that you said that you're still having some ready meals.
Oh yeah, because it's at the end of the day, sometimes it's just convenience. If I've got a hectic day, a ready meal is better than eating snacks, sandwiches and crisps. So a prepared meal that I fire in the microwave is not as good as cooking properly, but it's still better than not eating at all or eating rubbish.
Exactly. So again, it's like, something I just want to touch on there. It's like you're not going for perfection.
No, because at the end of the day, it's not achievable. For me, the biggest thing that's come out of your blueprint is habits and changing habits, and getting used to better habits. So getting used to drinking more water, quite often having a lemon and ginger tea instead of a coffee, so that I still drink loads of coffee, but it's probably 6 or 8 cups a day rather than 12 or 15. So yeah, it's improving habits, and it's not perfection, but it is an improvement.
Perfect. So, like, if you had to describe your biggest internal shift that happened with you, like, what would you say? Would you say it's been?
Probably a combination of diet. Well, 3 factors. It's not one. It's improving the diet, drinking more water, and by focusing on getting enough sleep. And those 3 factors together have made the biggest difference. I was already okay at exercising and so on, and I'm doing more now. I've got a friend, a former employee, who started something called the Longevity Games to try and encourage people to get more exercise as they get older.
Nice.
I suppose for me, the thing is, I've discussed at home as well. I was a bit late getting started with the business. I bought my first business when I was 45, and I bought my most recent business when I was 65. So my logic is I want to keep going longer. I want to still be working. I've told the wife I'm not retiring till I'm 75, but I want to be fit and healthy at 75. So this is part of that program.
That's it. You need the energy to be able to do that work, don't you?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
Nice. So, like, if you go back as well, like to our initial conversation that we had, so what was what was the reason for you joining the Back in Charge Blueprint?
Partly your enthusiasm, I suppose. The whole program seemed to work well. So yeah, it gave me something to focus on and to push on, and it worked.
Good. And like, I wanted to fast forward, like to today, like to January 2026.
Yeah.
Now, in the gap between when you finished the program and I worked together and today, what would you say have been the biggest challenges that have come up since finishing?
When things have got stressful, staying away from all the sweet stuff and all the old bad habits, trying to make sure that I make time during the day to get out of the office and go for a decent walk and clear my head. Probably those 2 factors more than anything.
Nice. So the challenges have been like stressful moments, how you handle those stressful moments and staying away from food. Yeah. So how have you been able to manage that now? Like, what's been different now than previously? Like, how have you been able to handle those different?
I suppose having done the program gave me a focus for what I ought to be doing. And it's just enabled me to say, right, well, the best thing now is let's get out for half an hour. So it's basically thinking back to the habits that, we created with the program and staying with those.
Nice. Good. And like, what's improved? And like, outside of the health, like, you've got more energy and, all of that now, like, what else has improved since the program, as a result of you doing the work on yourself, would you say?
I guess I feel more confident and competent to deal with issues that are coming up and deal with, day-to-day problems.
Can you give me an example? Like what does confidence mean to you? Because confidence is, it's quite a broad, like a broad word, isn't it? Like,
it's mainly, it hasn't changed anything really very much in my private life, but in the business life, it's made it easier for me to deal with some of the day-to-day problems that have been coming up, like refinancing the business or
the stressful moments.
Yes,
it's about so again, it's like just reinforcing. It's about like you say, it's just reinforcing how to deal with that stress, isn't it?
Yep. exactly that.
Nice. And then also like that photo behind you, like
Yeah,
that's you, isn't it?
that's me. Yeah.
Yeah. Like how's that going? Because I remember like when we first spoke, is that you were saying that you're racing and that. Like, are you still doing that?
I'm still doing that. We'll be out with that car next month for the first shakedown for the new season, and hope to do a full season of racing this year. So,
Nice. And how's
yeah.
that? Like how's that going for you?
Yeah, pretty good. We last year was a fairly quiet year, but too busy with the business and getting it all up and running. And at the end of the day, having a business like this is what helps pay for that. So I have to keep it in focus. But I'm hoping this year we'll be able to do more racing than last year. And yeah, we're flat out getting the car ready.
Yeah. Nice. When's the first race?
First couple of races are both going to be at Silverstone. We'll do they have an international circuit layout and the Grand Prix circuit. So one in April, one in May, but both at Silverstone. And then on around the rest of the country after that.
Nice. That's good. And again, I suppose, like you working on your health and having more energy, has that helped?
Yeah. Like most race series, there's a minimum weight limit, but you want to get down as near to the weight limit as you can. And for our race series, that's effectively a notional weight for the driver with all his kit of 80 kilos. So I want to be down to that as well. Any kilos over that are extra weight in the car, which slows you down.
Nice. Good. And again, it's just having that target and having that structure in place to be able to do that, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Great. So like we've been talking about you and the things that you've seen, the benefits that you've seen from you getting back in charge and doing the work and all of that. But what about the people around you? Like, what have they seen? Have they seen any changes in you since you finished the program, Peter?
Definitely seen. Okay, I'm a bit slimmer, but also that I'm more motivated and got more energy. So yes, that's been noticeable to family, to friends. Yeah.
And what have they like in what context have they noticed it? Have family and friends noticed you've got more energy and more mobile?
Well, I suppose that this weekend helping the daughter move house, and I've probably done more fetching and carrying than the sons-in-law. It's people see that although I'm now getting older, I've still got loads of energy.
Nice, good. So there's no slowing you down at all.
No, not at all.
No, good. That's it. And then finally, Peter, like for men that are watching this who feel that like they're stuck and like you say that they're stuck a bit like you were, you're starting to see some noticeable things like energy and focus and the weight starting to creep up. Like, what would you want them to know?
That it's not a yo-yo diet. It's a change of habit. It's good habits to get into. What have you got to lose other than a few kilo?
That's it. Exactly. So, Peter, thank you for taking the time today.
You're very welcome.
And again, it's yes, weight is the telling factor, but it's also like what else does it bring? Like for you, it's about the energy, it was about having the focus and the motivation, and also being able to handle stress better.
Yes.
So like instead of like when you're stressed, going for the food or like for some people they go for drink or late nights or whatever, it's about being able to handle that stress better.
Correct.
Yeah. And also you've improved your sleep, or you're focusing on your sleep more, which is good. So then by you focusing on your sleep, then waking up, you've now got energy in the morning.
Yes. Yeah.
So then you're not chasing your tail trying to get through the next hour and fueling yourself on caffeine.
Yeah.
So nice. No, thank you so much for taking the time, Peter.
You're very welcome.
Good. So everyone as well that have tuning in, and thank you for joining us on this episode of the Sustainability Series, where most men, they don't struggle to lose weight. They struggle to keep the weight off, especially when life is busy, is stressful, and it's unpredictable. Now, what you heard is proof. Like long-term change is possible. Like even for Peter, even in the stressful periods, he's still been able to continue with his habits, still focus on what needs to, and maintain those results. So if something in this conversation resonated, or if you feel like you've just been holding everything together for a while and your own health is quietly slipping into the background, then this is your reminder that you can take back control and you can keep it. Now, I'm Adam Alexander. Thank you for watching the Sustainability series, where men don't just get back in charge, they stayed